Inside our LA NBA studio with Paul Pierce and Michael Wilbon. I'm Michelle Beadle. Trailblazers up 74-58 at the half. Other games going on around the league, though. Let's take a look. And we start with dunks from Beantown. Second quarter, Celtics up 5. Jalen, oh, nice.
Oh, watch this. Get your camera ready.
Wow.
No Kyrie, by the way, tonight, correct?
No Kyrie?
No Kyrie.
No problem. Am I right, guys? No, that wasn't very good. I'll work on that. Let me get it better for the next segment. Third quarter, Celtics lead by, ooh.
Did he catch it coming down?
I like that one. That's a good dunk. All right, we promised you dunk. Celtics win. Hawks Kings from Sacramento.
Okay, I know we're going to get a Vince Carter. Oh, that's not Vince.
You get a Bembry. Bembry on the rookie right there.
Oh, the rook. Young Bagley. Watch your
vicious,
head.
wasn't it?
Tried to go after it.
Watch your head. Welcome to the league.
Hawks got a little ground to make up there. No problem. Mavericks, Knicks, and we've got standing O's from the Garden.
Oh, we're going to get a dunk from Dirk tonight. We got to.
Okay, no, we've moved on to standing ovations. I
Dirk did not go scoreless like he did in the other Garden.
No, this one's okay. This one is fine. And then, Doncic. Oh, no. Wait, what about Hardaway? Oh, we don't have a Hardaway? Okay, that's not a good sign.
Are we allowed to talk about our Paul pregame bets? Are we allowed
of course. It's what America wants to hear about. Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Buzzer beater time, y'all. Andrew Wiggins misses. No worries. Carl Anthony Towns.
Making an all-star team this year.
Not on y'all's reserves, right? He must have heard
That's why we
you.
need to go to the best 24 players. Regardless of East or
West. We had a whole posse
good enough for the
Western
win.
Conference all-stars potentially.
Well, we'll get into that. C.J. McCollum, first quarter alone, he had all 21 of his points. That ain't bad.
That's not bad. And then Damian Lillard took it up in the second quarter.
Coming up after the buzzer, SportsCenter with Stan and Neil taking a look at where's AD gonna go, plus Doncic in the Big Apple, and all the Super Bowl reports start coming in from Atlanta with a look at the battle in the trenches. And tonight's Going Places is brought to you by Toyota. I love when a plan comes together. Pre-game, we talked about Dame and CJ. In the game, it's all them, right, Wilbon?
All of them combined 16 for 23, 5 for 8 from 3. I mean, these guys, they took turns first and second quarter. Sometimes they just play so well together, and particularly in the regular season. But then, Paul, when you get to the playoffs, it's harder to maintain this.
Yeah, when you got to play with two little guards, you need that dynamic wingman. I've said it all along. It's tough to score in the playoffs when you have two little guards. But Donovan Mitchell,
and we say little guards.
It's
little kids.
You know, he may or may not make the All-Star game, and that's what I talk about because he is definitely an All-Star.
Yes.
I mean, you see what he's doing out here, and that's why I say we go to the top.
Look at the camera, preach.
Go to the top 24 players. And it'll be enough said.
Yeah,
because we're going to have special players that are not going to make the All-Star team, and he could be a victim of that this year.
You get the guys who are most worthy, Paul. I agree with you.
Paul for change. Here he is. The man should be an all-star. Donovan Mitchell, he's got a team-high 15. Jazz have a little mountain to climb in the second half with Dave and Doris. Star starters were announced last Thursday, so the 10, Kyrie, Kemba, Giannis, Kawhi, Embiid, Harden, Curry, LeBron, Durant, and Paul George. And tomorrow, the NBA will officially announce the reserves for the 68th All-Star Game. So we thought, well, you guys are here, and who's better at picking reserves than Paul and Wilbon, obviously. So outside of Oladipo, who's obviously out with the injury, who do you have for your East reserves? Paul?
For my East, I got Blake Griffin, Chris Middleton, Nikolai Vucevic, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and Oladipo replaced by Bradley Beal.
Okay. Anything stick out? Oh,
you know, it's hard to argue with it. No, I've got D'Angelo Russell.
Okay.
Ben Simmons.
Bill is, wow. Must be practicing.
Brooklyn being as good as they are, and he's had a great month, Paul, so I put D'Angelo Russell on.
I don't hate that.
I do have Bradley Beal, Chris Middleton. We got the same. Blake, we both have that. And I've got Siakam.
Hold up.
Siakam?
Well, wait, do you have a problem with Siakam?
I mean, he's good. He's not ready to be there in front of like a Bradley Beal or something.
Well, I got Bradley Beal.
I mean, he got Bradley Beal.
You have Dwayne Wade, which I find, I didn't know you were romantic.
Dwayne Wade.
You have a problem with Wade?
I don't have, you know what? I do not have a problem with Wade.
Good.
I respect Wade.
Good.
OG Wade, he should get a spot.
I mean, that's
very sentimental.
Some people voted him as a starter. I did not do that. Yeah. But I think Dwayne Wade should be in this game.
Look at you with the big heart.
I'm not mad at Wade making the team.
Chicago got to.
I know, I'm surprised that you didn't. Yeah, but.
Nah, you got to respect the legend.
I have no problem there. Okay, so that was easy. The East is a little bit.
You might as well throw Dirk on there then for the West.
Well, we don't know. Stop it. The West is where things get a little bit trickier.
Yeah, this is tricky.
Some tough choices here. Paul, why don't you start us off in the West?
All right, I got in the West. Joker from
got
Denver.
excited about it.
Klay Thompson. Tobias Harris making it for the first time. Anthony Davis. Of course, Russell Westbrook. Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge. Those are my Western Conference.
How tough was that? Was that tough?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. You know, I should have put Dirk Nowitzki on there.
Okay, so now
show
you're
some
just
love to him.
I know what you're doing. Well, I know Wilbon's was tough because it took you almost all day.
You know what? They
It
should
does.
have
By the way, the guys I left off comprise another whole bench unit.
It's a little
But
unfair.
I've got Westbrook, Lillard, Mitchell. I think Mitchell's had just a fabulous month and played his way on ahead of even his teammate Rudy Gobert. Doncic, Aldridge making Michelle happy.
Thank you.
Of course, AD. And Jokic, who I voted as a starter. And Michelle, I think we have that in common.
Yep.
But look at all the people we didn't get to. Derrick Rose, who the fans voted on, and he has been one of the great stories in the league this year. Conley, I didn't vote for Tobias Harris, Paul did. Fox, I didn't have on. DeRozan, Rudy Gobert, who I mentioned, and I don't have Klay Thompson. And you look at it and you're like, okay, but then who do I want to take off my list? Who's borderline?
See, this is why I say get away from the East-West. No conferences, since we're not playing conference at all, and just pick the 24 best players regardless of conference. So if there's 14, 15 in the West and 4 to 8,
so be it.
So be it.
Paul, you think it's coming next year?
Who has a problem with that?
It should be. If we're going to take away East-West, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah, because if you're going to pick that way, then why are we confined?
I want U.S. versus the world. Look at the international all-stars.
I don't hate
make that a game worth watching.
I do not hate that idea at all. America, but I'm not sure they would win. This week's NBA Saturday primetime game, all California affair. These Warriors again, this time at Oracle. Boogie, Steph, Katie, and Klay taking on the Lakers. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern. And as always, you can watch on the app. Otto Porter Jr. has found a home coming off the bench. In fact, he's averaging nearly 3 more points a game as a reserve than a starter. He and the Wizards taking on the Pacers coming up. We also play a special game of this or that involves the hottest name on the market right now, Anthony Davis. Where should he go? Would you even trade him for, say, a music icon?
Anybody in com? Anybody you got out?
There are going to be a lot of media members that try to take credit for what I'm about to say, that Anthony Davis ends up in Los Angeles.
Anthony Davis will not sign an extension in the offseason when he's eligible to.
It's out there now, and it's public knowledge, so what we have to do is block it out and do our jobs.
He's like one of the main, like 90% of the reason why I stayed. That'll be good for the Lakers, or whatever team that gets him.
You know, we want guys to do exactly what they want to do in this league. We have a short amount of time, so why not do what you want?
Anthony Davis was fined $50,000 by the NBA for violating the CBA for making a trade request public.
Yes, it has been a week of talking about Anthony Davis and his future and where will he end up. And I want to ask Wilbon, how did the Pelicans fail as far as trying to keep this guy in New Orleans?
Well, I mean, Paul referred to this earlier already. They failed because they're not having any kind of season. I mean, Anthony Davis understandably wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to win. He has no chance to win if he can't even get in the playoffs.
Right.
The West is difficult, I know, and I know there have been injuries. But when you look, okay, there's so 47% winning percentage. But I thought, Paul, this has all changed last year. They get in the playoffs. They beat Portland. I know the Warriors series only went 5, but there were some times they were really competitive. And I know they thought, and I know Alvin Gentry thought this, they were going to take a step forward this year and look to go deeper in the playoffs. Maybe instead of finishing 6 and having to be the 3, you know, finish.
Based on what, though?
Finish it 4. These guys were all going to be together. Mirotic more comfortable in his role. Anthony Davis still getting better at whatever it is, 25 years old. And Michelle, for them to be this bad, to be this far out of the playoffs picture, I mean, Dallas may not always be ahead of them in the standings, but they've passed them in terms of the energy of the franchise, how they feel about their great young player in Doncic. And New Orleans, Anthony Davis, if they were where they were last year and on the rise, that would be more difficult. I don't think you would have heard that announcement if the Pelicans were 4th or 5th in the Western Conference right now.
We would not be talking about this. 2 simple things. If you re-sign DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you re-sign Rajon Rondo, they wouldn't be in this position right now. So I put a lot of that on upper management for not bringing those pieces back, because Rondo clearly was the engine for them in the playoffs. And you say, hey, we sweep the Blazers, you know, we lose to the Warriors, but we're going to get an upgrade back the next year in DeMarcus Cousins. So
do you think
Like, let's build on that. And that was the mistake right there, because as a superstar player, you putting up empty stats. You watching your peers out here night in and night out go to the playoffs, having a shot at it. You're putting up PER numbers that's out of this world, Anthony Davis, and it's all going to waste.
What about the people who say, yeah, but what about Anthony Davis? As a superstar, why haven't you been able to carry this team further than you have?
You can't do it by yourself. There's only one guy that can do that, and that's LeBron.
Right.
We've only seen one guy.
So then even if those guys had stayed, at the end of the day, if what he really wants to do is play with LeBron.
Well, let's go back to Rondo for a second. Because we saw just the year before that what he did with the Chicago Bulls team that had nothing.
If he doesn't get hurt, they beat the Celtics.
They beat the Celtics in the first round. So Rondo, I mean, Rondo's...
This is Rondo's fault.
...status is so far beyond questioning. But to not sign both those guys, and I think Rondo might have been more important, particularly when you look at a guy that you need to rally. It takes some of the pressure off Anthony Davis. I mean, as a leader, we see this in Washington. Paul knows this firsthand. We're going to get to this with John Wall. So after they let Paul go, they have still not replaced his veteran presence, not just on the floor, but in the locker room.
How can they?
The New Orleans didn't do that with Rondo.
How do you replace that guy?
It's
impossible to do. So this, obviously, all of this situation with the brow has inspired us to bring back a little segment we like to call This or That.
Let me see what we got.
Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. 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 You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. I think you get with this. This is kind of fat. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. I think you get with this, because this is where it's at.
We're going to get into this, and we are going to take this whole thing from the Pelicans' point of view. If you were the Pelicans GM, what would you do? So first up, this Lakers package. Wilbon, you're going to start this one off. All the non-LeBron Lakers or Anthony Davis?
Well, the deal hasn't been made. It doesn't seem like it's going to get made, so clearly that's a signal. He's not answering the phone for the Lakers. I would answer phone calls. But, I mean, Ingram is better. He's so much better without LeBron. He's averaging 20 points a game without LeBron, but with him. And then I really like Kuzma. I mean, the jury's out on what they think of ball, but I think they would say Anthony Davis, and that's why the phone is still ringing.
Silence. Paul?
Anthony Davis.
Okay,
I got to stay with this generational talent.
Yep.
I mean, come on. You don't get players like this don't fall into your lap every day. You can find a Kuzma, you can find an Ingram, but not an Anthony Davis.
Okay, that's fair. How about, and you're going to start this one off, Anthony Davis or the Knicks duo of a recovering Porzingis and the rookie Kevin Knox?
That's one I may take a chance on. That's one, because Porzingis is a new generation big man. He doesn't need much athleticism. If he gets back healthy, which I believe he will, and then you got a promising rookie in Knox, that's a deal I could live with, trading for Anthony Davis.
Well, okay. That's big.
I could live with it, too, if you can assure me that Porzingis, and Paul's right about this particular thing. People are coming back from this injury now pretty close to 100%.
Yes.
Where there's some other injuries that still, bother people for 2-3 more seasons. If you can guarantee me that, I might be able to live with it, but I got to see Porzingis. Has there been any video?
It's been a minute.
Video of everything in the world. There's no video lately of Porzingis running
Too many things,
on the
really.
beach. Nothing.
Running on the beach.
Something.
Wilbon, we'll talk about it in the break. Thinking ahead to the draft and a potential opportunity for your Bulls, actually. Anthony Davis or the likely #1 pick, Zion.
Okay, so
that's a good one.
I'm really conflicted here because Anthony Davis again, Chicagoan. And by the way, I think the Bulls will be conflicted. If I can have Markkanen, Wendell Carter, and Zion Williamson, you're giving me an entire front line if I am the New Orleans Pelicans. Right? And you're talking about guys on rookie contracts, so you'll be able to do some things in free agency as well. I think I might do that. If I'm the Bulls, Paul, I don't know. The energy that Zion Williamson is going to bring whoever he's drafted by to that place, that arena, that city, I don't know if I do that if I'm the Bulls.
If I'm the Pelicans, it's bye-bye, Anthony Davis.
Wow.
We'll order you your Uber, and we'll have one when you land. Because if I can get Zion Williams, Wendell Carter, and Markkanen, I got to do it.
Whole front line.
Okay, but he thought about it. He thought this one out, which I kind of like. This would maybe break the internet. Maybe.
What's this?
Anthony Davis, and Paul, you'll start us out on this one.
Right.
Or Draymond Green and DeMarcus.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Because Draymond is, he's a good piece, and then you got DeMarcus Cousins starting to look. He looked like he gonna get back into his rhythm. But I'll take Anthony Davis on this one. Like I said, a generational talent again.
Wow, really?
I'm just going with now. Right now, Draymond is not playing like Draymond, and DeMarcus Cousins hasn't got back to that level yet. And I know what AD is bringing every night now before he had his injury.
Well, okay.
This is hard.
This one's legit.
I've gone back and forth a few times. I watched DeMarcus Cousins last week in a couple games in person in Washington. And Paul, he's still, when everybody's gone small with their lineups, right? So when he catches the ball in the post, which nobody even looks to throw it in anymore, and he seals, it's an automatic. I mean, he can shoot like 65, 68% the rest of the way because teams are small and they have no resistance for DeMarcus if he's all the way back. He's all the way back here, but he's coming. And then Draymond brings some elements they'd have to. And you know what?
That's a tough one.
Be fun.
And if Coach Gentry's still there, he was an assistant, he's been on that staff, he knows how to deal with Draymond in terms of what he wants to do on the court and the way he likes to be used. I might go Boogie and Draymond.
Okay. Wilbon taking some shots here. I kind of like it. Take some chances. And you mentioned Alvin Gentry there, and he brought this up earlier in the season. Wilbon, I'm going to start with you. Anthony Davis or Beyonce?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about singing? Are we talking about just
life?
Just life. Have in the arena every night?
Oh man.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna avoid any trouble.
What? That's no fun.
I'm gonna avoid any trouble. And just answer the safe answer. Say Anthony Davis.
Are you kidding me?
I want Beyonce for any purpose that is not basketball. Singing, entertaining, smiling, just being in the room.
This is an easy one, Beats. I'm going with the one that puts up 30+ million a year and fills the arena. Beyonce.
True, she does.
I've seen the arena with Anthony Davis on the court.
I've seen some empty seats.
And I've seen an arena with Beyonce on the court.
Right.
It's sold out.
I know what those
What are the owners trying to do right now? If you're not winning championships, it's about making money.
By the way, have you ever had the Beehive come after you? Really? I have. No, I've had. It's a tough group.
Okay.
Our NBA Friday doubleheader tips off. Yeah, no, it's at the Garden. Kyrie and the Celtics taking on the Knicks, and then Jokic and the Nuggets hosting James Harden and the Rockets. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN, and of course, the app. How about tonight's Rising Star, brought to you by Mountain Dew? Domantas Sabonis, Mountain Dew Ice, has averaged just under 14 points in 13 games without Victor Oladipo.
Most improved player.
Pacers are 2-0 against the Wizards this season. We'll find out if that continues.
Or maybe sixth man of the year.
You're just feeling real awardy lately. Coming up, Portland's electric backcourt duo receives a visit from a man who knows a thing or two about legendary duos. Scottie Pippen talking about the best backcourts and how to bounce back from last year's disappointing finish.